Billy Collins in the poem Introduction to Poetry is attempting to change the perspectives of young readers about poetry. Instead of being so tense about trying to find the real meaning behind it, wanting his readers to really relax into the words of what he's saying. This is evident when Collins says they begin beating it with the hose to find out what it really means. What Collins is really saying is that instead of reading it and simply trying to answer the question, he wants his readers to visualize themselves within the poem and make connections to it, really feeling the author's state of emotion. He's both emphasizing and cautioning the readers not to do the bare minimum in answering the question or task your teacher may have wrote for you on the board, but in fact to go above and beyond and really immerse yourself within the words of the poem. Collins has accomplished this task by using words to explain imagery and clarify the overall tone of the poem. First, in stanza 1, line 3, when Collins writes, "Hold it up to the light like a color slide," what he is really wanting readers to visualize is the amount of squinting and angles it may take to actually see the slide up to a light. Connecting this back to the poem and looking at it from different angles and perspectives, just like this color slide. Stanza 4 is another example, and it demonstrates how to tackle the poem by comparing it to an image of everyday life. Press an ear against its hive. One sane person would not just put their head in the hive, but rather go slowly and tentatively, being cautious not to go too fast. This is how Collins would like his readers to digest the poem and poetry in general. In stanza 4, line 8, the line reads, "Or walk inside the poem's room and feel the walls for a light switch." Majority of readers have actually experienced walking into a dark room and feeling for the switch. Since you have no sight and can't see where the actual switch is, you have to feel and sense where it might be, forcing you to use multiple senses instead of just sight. So again, Collins ties this together with how he believes poems should be analyzed with multiple senses. Again, emphasizing his difference of perspective and out-of-the-box thinking. Finally, in the second to last stanza, the mood changes when he talks about beating the poem, tying it to a chair, and torturing a confession out of it. This is not foreshadowing or trying to explain to us a spy movie reference, but rather foreshadowing a reality check of how everything above this stanza is how a poem should be read. But it's almost like he flipped his own switch to reality and has shown how a poem is really understood and is really analyzed in this day and age. The imagery of tying something to a chair and wanting information from it really shows the readers the brutalness of how we treat the author's work as opposed to how we should really be going about it. Through Collins' word choice, he's able to create imagery to convey his state of mind to readers and to hopefully allow them to open their eyes to see his perspective and his way of out-of-the-box thinking.